Our 7-day G.I. Joe classified series review series, that's a mouthful, continues with number 88, Vypra from the Python Patrol, on The Way I Got It Figured.
The Way I Got It Figured.
What's up, figure fans? The Way I Got It Figured, back with another G.I. Joe classified series review. This time we're looking at the Cobra Mercenary Ninja Agent Vypra, part of the Python Patrol and a Target exclusive figure. I picked this figure up from my buddy Gray Wolf, who had an extra one. He didn't need it. I said, you know what, I'll take it, but wasn't gonna originally get her because I don't get everything, and I definitely supposedly don't get Python Patrol, but since she's like kind of a new character and she's a ninja, I wanted to go ahead and grab her. The other thing is, I don't actually have at least even one of this mold, even though this mold is modified, so I figured I'd just go ahead and grab her. So yeah, that's what's going on with this. We're going to get into the packaging, the figure, the accessories, all of which we've seen before on this channel before, and we'll talk about Vypra a little bit, what little there is to talk about, do a comparison or two, and get you out of here with some final thoughts. So starting off with her package, we've got some nice artwork here of Vypra. The only kind of Easter egg I see is this little iguana going on here. And of course there's the temple, but I don't know what's going on with that. Of course she's on Python Patrol. Got some nice artwork over here. Her weapons loadout is Storm Shadow's weapons with the mask of Master of Disguise Zartan. There's a larger version of her artwork here on the side. And then she's number 88 with her QR code and mini file card symbols. Then on the back, you've got her tail of the tape and, you know, weapons loadout and insets. She stands at 5.7 inches. That's a cool little view of her arm here. And, you know, just the detail of the belt. And then her file card symbols are 2 Mercenary, 2 bladed weapons, 2 martial arts, and 2 ninjitsu. So she's like, you know, middle of the road and everything for G.I. Joe classified anyway. For the scale of G.I. Joe skill, she's like middle of the road and everything. Of course, according to the lore, even a 1 in any skill is considered an elite level of skill, so she's definitely better than elite. But she's like no match for like Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow. There's your look at Vypra's packaging. And then we've seen it all before on this channel, twice in some cases. So here's her bow, which is Storm Shadow's bow. Our arrow that goes along with that. She has 2 swords, one of which is absurdly warped. The other sword. Her backpack, which marks her as an Arashikage. and the skull mask that came with Zartan. Let's look at our accessories. So looking at the figure up close, most of her body is the same as the Ninja Vypra and Akiko, but she has the top arms of Zorana. And that's cool. You know, again, there's a lot of reuse in G.I. Joe classified, especially of late, but they're being smarter about the reuse, and I think that's really the key. It's not, you know, we've got to accept that there's going to be reuse, but they're definitely being more clever about it, and I like that. So real quick look at her articulation. Since she's sort of a modified kit, we'll do her T-pose. I can get her about there without stressing the figure. Ab crunches, the normal compromised ab crunch. Has the normal drop down legs as all G.I. Joe classified figures do. Swivel. She does have a boot cut and ankle rockers. Then of course you have bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, and wrist articulation. And she does have the double hinged neck. You could look up to about there, look down to about there. Pretty decent. So next we're going to get her geared up, and I'll talk a little bit about her history when we come back. Alright, so we've got Vypra geared up with all our accessories on, and she is one of the figures that can store everything without, you know, having to hold anything. I did want to have her with one of her swords, so I did that. And she looks good like this. Got a clip here to clip on the bow. I just went ahead and stowed her bent sword. Maybe it'll straighten out after being in there for a long time. And what I do like is, you know, sort of like how they have her set up on the box with the mask. You know, you don't really use this mask for Zartan. So I think she's going to put it to better use. I might probably leave her with it on. And that works out pretty good for her. And I said I would go over the history of the character, which is sort of convoluted. So this character showed up in 1998. She came with like essentially like a vamp, and they call it the 4-wheel drive Ravager or something like that. And in her backstory of that, she was like a person who joined the military, but then she got 3 other versions. One of them is a modern Joe, and they sort of leaned into her mercenary nature. Version 3 is like supposedly one of the daughters of the Arashikage swordsmith. So it's sort of like the final card sort of takes advantage of all of those things and says, well, her backstory is like confused and she uses false things to say this, and sort of no one can have leverage over her. She sort of creates parts of her own backstory, you know, similar to like Joker in the Dark Knight, where, you know, he was kind of telling you supposedly his origin, and it could have been true or it couldn't have been true. You don't know, right? She does have an Arashikage backpack. Once you give her the Storm Shadow backpack, you kind of already are saying that that's what she is. Or maybe she killed an Arashikage and got it from him, you know, or a Ninja Vypra. or whatever, you know, since they all seem to be Arashikages too. But yeah, that's kind of her backstory. It's a backstory that's a non-backstory. She is a mercenary. She's, you know, by all accounts, fairly deadly character and everything like that. But, you know, you can choose your own kind of backstory for her. For me, you know, I am gonna say that she is a true Arashikage. But that doesn't mean that she can't be mysterious at the same time. So there you go. Next, I'm gonna do comparison or two, and then we'll get on to final thoughts. So first comparison, we will bring in the recently reviewed Steel Core female trooper, and they're about the same height. Look kind of good, you know, looks cool, looks like they could face off. And then the as yet reviewed Agent Helix review coming soon. And Agent Helix is a little bit taller. But yeah, she looks good. Yeah, you know, I really don't like variants, you know, of Python Patrol. Hold on, wait a minute, that's not true. It's not that I don't like the variants, I just don't feel beholden to getting every single one of them. But a character like this, if they make a regular version of her, you know, you could perhaps even make it be a different character. Just don't have her with the Zartan mask or whatever like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. If they make a regular Vypra, I might pick up one anyway. And then just pretend it's another character. But that's your comparisons. So I'm going to move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I.Joe Classified Series number 88, Python Patrol Vypra. I like the figure. You know, it turned out to be better than I expected. There's a lot of reuse. It's almost all reuse. It actually is all reuse. It's just reuse from different figures. We're looking at 4 different figures that we're taking parts from, and I think it's a pretty cool way to do it. I really like the use of the Zorana arms on the ninja body. You know, when they do stuff like that, that's the kind of reuse that I think you should do. Or if you're gonna make a bat, you know, give it a different head or something like that, just to make it feel different enough that it's worth you plunking down your very hard-earned money to get. So based on how it all shakes out, I think she's good. I like her. I'm gonna give her an 8. I'm not gonna give her a 9. It's all stuff you see before. And as far as the figure, you know, I wouldn't give it a 9 anyway. I don't think I gave the Ninja Vipers a 9, but it's cool, and I do like kind of what you get for it. So 8 is a very strong, very respectable way I got a figure rank. All right, so we got one more video to go in our 7-day G.I. Joe Classified Review series. I realize it's not 7 straight days. I skipped a day, but it is 7 straight G.I. Joe Classified Review, 7 days, not necessarily 7 continuous days. But it was very important to me that I did the actual 7 days. And we're going to take a little break from G.I. Joe Classified series, jump to some other things, and then we'll come back after a few videos with the Agent Helix review. All right. For now, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank everybody for the views and the latest people to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep it going. You know, I go by every 100, you know, every 100 subscribers. So we're pretty much to 300 now. That's pretty cool. I'm very pleased, and I want to keep delivering content that brings everybody back. So I will see everybody on the next video. Till then, everybody stay safe. Peace.
The way I got it figured.